I opened a retirement calculator after seeing the usual advice to max the Roth first. I put the same $10,000 through 2 tax paths. 30 years later, one left about $9,000 more to spend. Then I tested a $5,000 employer match, and $5,000 became $10,000 before the market moved 1 cent. The finish line is every available dollar assigned to its highest value job. Keep each advantage, then let the next limitation decide where the following dollar goes. That's the problem with the advice to just max your retirement accounts. Which account? Traditional or Roth? Workplace plan or IRA? HSA or 401k? And what about the teacher with a 403b and a 457, or the freelancer choosing between a SEP IRA and a solo 401k? For funding purposes, the labels fit into 5 groups. Workplace accounts include the 401k, 403b, TSP, and 457. Personal accounts are traditional and Roth IRAs. The HSA is a medical account that can double as long-term savings. Business owners get simple SEP and solo 401k plans. Pensions promise a formula-based benefit instead of an individual balance. Before step 1, protect the plan from yourself. Retirement money is expensive emergency cash. Early withdrawals can trigger income tax and an additional 10% tax unless an exception applies. Keep accessible cash for near-term bills and do not ignore expensive debt just to say you contributed. An uncertain market return is not automatically better than eliminating a guaranteed high borrowing cost. Only the dollar that can stay invested reaches step 1. Now, step 1, capture every employer dollar you can actually keep. This applies to a 401k, 403b, and the federal thrift savings plan. They are labels on the same basic machine. Money leaves payroll and enters an individual investment account. Traditional contributions can reduce taxable income now. Roth contributions are taxed now, with qualified withdrawals potentially tax-free later. Suppose a $100,000 salary comes with a dollar-for-dollar match on the first 5%. You contribute $5,000. The employer adds $5,000. At a hypothetical 7% return, your $5,000 grows to about $38,000 in 30 years. With the match, $10,000 grows to roughly $76,000. No tax deduction or investment choice can reliably compete with an immediate 100% increase. But read the plan. Employer money may vest immediately or over time, and a bad menu can contain high fees. The first step is enough contribution to capture the full match under the actual terms. Now we keep that outside money. The first unmatched dollar must win on taxes and access. Step 2 is the HSA, but only through a narrow gate. It is not formally a retirement plan, yet it can behave like one. The 2026 limit is $4,400 for self-only coverage and $8,750 for family coverage. Employer contributions count toward it. Contributions can be excluded from income, growth can be tax-free, and qualified medical withdrawals can be tax-free. Step 3 is where most universal rankings fail. Choose the next account by tax direction and access. Traditional and Roth are not investments, they are tax treatments. Traditional usually means a tax benefit now and taxable withdrawals later. Roth means tax now, and qualified withdrawals later can be tax-free. The decision's not which word sounds safer, it's whether your marginal tax rate's likely lower now or when the money comes out. Here's the fair comparison. Start with $10,000 of pre-tax income and assume a hypothetical 7% return for 30 years. If the current marginal tax rate is 24%, a Roth investor has $7,600 left to contribute. That grows to about $57,853. Put the full $10,000 into a traditional account instead, and it grows to about $76,123 before withdrawal tax. If the retirement tax rate is 12%, the spendable amount is about $66,988. Traditional wins by roughly $9,135. If the retirement rate is 24%, the result is the same $57,853. If the future rate is higher than today, Roth begins to win. That is why a young worker in a low bracket may favor Roth, while someone in a peak earning year may favor deductible traditional contributions. Uncertainty creates a third answer. Split contributions across both tax treatments so retirement income does not come from one tax bucket. The IRA is usually the cleanest place to make that choice. The combined 2026 limit across all traditional and Roth IRAs is $7,500 or $8,600 at age 50 or older, and usable contributions cannot exceed taxable compensation. It is one shared limit, not a separate limit for each. Direct Roth eligibility phases out at higher incomes, and a traditional IRA deduction can phase out when a workplace plan covers you or your spouse. Step 4 is to return to the workplace plan. The employee deferral limit for most of these plans is $24,500. The general age 50 catch-up is $8,000. Ages 60 through 63 can have an $11,250 catch-up if permitted. One exception can move ahead, a governmental 457B. Its limit is separate from a 403B or 401k, and distributions generally avoid the additional 10% early distribution tax after separation, except for certain rolled-in money. That can make it especially valuable before age 59 and a half. The IRS illustrates the overlooked path with one worker enrolled in both a 403B and a 457. Apply that rule to 2026 and the worker may put $24,500 into each if both plans permit it and compensation supports it. The 457 limit includes employer contributions, so employer money can reduce the worker's room. Even then, two menus that look redundant can create up to $49,000 of space. The worker keeps the tax choice and gains an access bridge before the next dollar moves on. The overall defined contribution ceiling can reach $72,000 before catch-ups, subject to compensation and plan rules. It's not permission to deposit that amount from any business. The correct owner plan is the one whose formula, employee obligations, cost, and administration match the company. Then, return to the main route. A pension does not enter the dollar ladder the same way. It promises a formula-based benefit. Understand its vesting, survivor choices, inflation treatment, and how that future income changes the risk your personal portfolio must carry. Then the final destination is taxable investing. After useful tax-advantaged space comes the taxable brokerage account. It has no retirement contribution limit and offers easier access, but dividends, interest, and realized gains can create taxes. For earlier goals, it can supply the flexibility that keeps retirement money intact. The completed route holds 5 advantages: cash resilience, employer money, conditional HSA treatment, the right tax choice, and enough access to avoid breaking the system. The order changes when the facts change. A low bracket can move Roth forward, a poor workplace menu can move the IRA forward after the match, an early retirement plan can move the 457 forward, chronic medical costs can move the HSA backward, a pension can reduce the need for bond-like income elsewhere. The marketed promise is that one account is the winner. The math says the winner changes at each dollar. The first investable dollar chases money somewhere else adds. The next chases the strongest usable tax treatment. The final one preserves enough flexibility for the system to survive real life. So the identity question is not whether you are a Roth person or a 401k person. Are you collecting account names or directing each dollar toward its highest value job? This is the Income Mission. Subscribe because next we're breaking down every major mortgage type and finding which loan costs the least for each kind of buyer.